Hi everyone, good evening. This is another exciting episode on TechnaijaFM, where we are going to be discussing about from vision to scale, product leadership lessons from FinTech, FoodTech, and what is actually reigning at this point in time, which is the AI. My name, as you know, my name is Babatunde Esanju, and I have a respected product manager uh, from tech space who happens to have worked in quite numbers of sectors from the food tech, from the fintech, and AI now. And I'm happy that she's joining us today on TechnaijaFM to come and tell us some of the lessons that she has able to gather over the course of working in those sectors. And today I have uh, Bukunmi Falonshuo on TechnaijaFM. Uh, Bukunmi, thank you for joining us today. Can
Thank you
you say
so much
hi?
for me.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's exciting to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing from my experience, and I hope to impact many people.
Thank you so much for that. So from the topic, we know that you've been in the industry for a while, but we basically want to know if you can just tell us about yourself. Why did you even uh, go into the product management sort of things? We have quite numbers of people that are into like QA, software, and the likes, but you decided that you want to do products. What are the reason? Or what are the reasons that you think product is actually the best for you?
All right, thank you so much for that question, Babatunde, and I'm happy to be here once again. So my name is Bukunmi Falonshuo, just like Babatunde earlier introduced. And I've been in the tech space for a while. I think it would be about 7 years now. I
Wow.
didn't start out as a product manager. I started out as a project manager. So, I was running projects, managing execution, and you know, from my experience, I realized that there was the problem wasn't really with execution, right? It was majorly with unclear product thinking. So
Mm.
I've had experiences where I work on a product, and after some time we realized that we weren't aligning with user needs, right? The architecture wasn't properly thought through. So it motivated me to be part of what shapes the why and what we are building. So when I had the opportunity to work as a product manager at AfroInvest, I decided to give myself to it. And that was where I, transitioned into product management fully. But that's on the career side. But personally, right, I have certain soft skills that I've observed within myself over the years, and that is the ability to be highly intuitive, right, which has helped me, shape a lot of products for users. Also, I have a strong analytical skill. So that enables me to define, functional flows that actually solve, these use cases that we outlined during the user interview process. So I would say it's a mix of, yeah, it's been a mix of my own soft skills as well as, you know, ensuring that whatsoever is being executed upon is what users want.
Wow. Wow. That's great one. I'm not even sure that I knew about this information that you just gave us now. That you move from project down to product is actually a new thing to me, actually. Uh, and I believe that you from moving from project to product, you have gathered a lot of experience, uh, even how to run a project. Talk less of even uh, the product management aspect of it, which is actually a great one, which I believe uh, it has really helped you in the career because should in case there is a lack in maybe we are working on a project and the project manager is just doing anyhow, you can quickly fill in that space, I believe.
Yes, yes. So I don't just even product management is very vast, right? And it has to do with the entire product life cycle. Project management is one of it because part of the product life cycle is the development phase, right?
Yes.
So projects is mainly focusing on execution, right? And part of what I have learned in my own experience is to be able to differentiate between product and projects, right? So I usually, guide the development phase as well. And I work with the project managers that have been assigned to, help us achieve the products, right? So I work very closely with them to ensure that they are able to work in line with the product strategy so that we don't, at the end of the day, we don't build a miss. So
Mm, that's great. Thank you for that. I think I've gained one of the things from there. Maybe one of these days, I'll also look into product management. Maybe I can transition into that. I'm not sure. But I think there are quite numbers of people, especially in this software space, that are actually going into products just for them to even know more about okay, what is before we can even develop a software, right? What are the things that we should even consider from the product perspective? I think it's something that I can still also look into, but I'm not really sure at this point in time. Thank you so much for that. There are other things that I basically want to understand, and I know uh, from the audience too, they also have one or two questions. For you and for us to basically talk about. You've worked across different sectors, right? FinTech, FoodTech. What are the unique lessons that you can draw from that, from each of the sectors, especially uh, the food tech? Because uh, I think 2020, 2019, 2020, I also co-founded a food tech business in Nigeria, but along the line, something happened. But I think I want to know the lessons that you actually uh, that I can actually draw from those sectors where you worked.
all right, thank you again for that question, Babatunde. So in fintech, I learned that trust and compliance are the product.
Mm.
So building for the fintech industry is quite would I say complicated because it is a highly regulated sector, right?
Yes.
Now it also deals with people's funds, money, so rather than just building a product for people to use, you have to um, be big on trust and compliance, right? Your
Mm.
users have to be able to trust you with their funds. They have to be able to go to sleep at night knowing that, the funds I have, on in their wallets, right, is secure.
Yeah.
Want to
Yes.
wake up tomorrow and then they're hearing stories that they can't access the site, or maybe they can transfer successfully. So all of these ill experiences has to be well catered for, right, in the fintech space. So trust and compliance are very, very big factors, you know. Then in food tech, I learned that fancy UIs don't always doesn't really
Work.
matter, right? In the food tech space, your product has to solve real operational issues. And not just that, right? You also need to be big on margins and logistics, because in the food tech industry, a lot of what you do when you want to fulfill, customers orders, or business orders, has to do with logistics, right? So you have to ensure that as much as possible, you're able to get your logistics operationally, right? Operational wise, you have to be able to get it, to be very efficient. So I would say that from my own experience in the food tech space, right, I learned that beautiful UX doesn't matter. Your product has to be able to solve real operational issues, and also you need to maintain high margins and an effective logistics workflow. Then currently I'm in the AI space because I work at Prodly, right? And I've seen that AI doesn't really, replace human intuition. It extends it, right?
Yes.
Now you realize that a lot of things are done easily now, unlike before where you have to have gone through the entire, software development life cycle to be able to ship a
Exactly.
product.
Yeah.
Now you have
Yes.
AI, you just go chat with ChatGPT, or you can
Right code.
use AI to develop, a quick MVP, to validate your ideas. Even on
Yes.
Prodigy, right, we leverage AI to help with the conceptualization process. So we are big on co-creation, right? And so I've learned, from my experience in the AI industry so far, I've learned that AI is a helpmeet. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. So just to back that point of uh, food tech, I think one of the issues that we had then was
Mm-hmm.
logistics, right? Because our idea happens to similar to what that company that you work with, what they did then, because we are trying to solve problem based on getting fresh farm produce from the farmer and selling it to businesses. But challenge occurs right around logistics,
Mm-hmm.
um, and there are a couple of big players in that particular space. Even for us to get where to even store the farm fresh produce was also another problem. Quite numbers of a lot of reasons, right, that actually uh, affected us then. But I think we learned a lot of lessons from there. And I think if you are coming to that space again, it's going to be in another dimension, which I believe we will still anyway, but it's definitely going to be in another dimension.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. When we are talking about products, how can we actually scale products?
Mm,
How can a product be scaled from your own experience?
mm. Thanks for that question. That's I think it's something that we don't talk about a lot within our industry. But I also think that a lot of people are moving from just building and shipping to scaling, right? So it's
Yeah.
something that in recent years has been, a lot of people are really concerned about how exactly do I scale a product. So I would say that for many product managers, right, they often talk about features, you know,
Okay.
but real skill has to do with being able to create a repeatable value engine.
Hmm.
right? So let me take that again. Real skill comes when you've been able to establish a repeatable value engine. So it could be one core job like that is done efficiently, that you see that when the user carries out that process, right, there are no breaks, there are no bugs, something like that, as little as that. It could also be one monetization path that has been you that you see, right, has been successful time and time and again. Do you understand? So you know that if you've been able to achieve this, sorry,
Yep.
if you've been able to achieve this repeatable value engine, you are ready to scale, because it's all about you already have this system, right? You validated it, you've seen that it works even at a very little or in a small way. What you just need
Yeah.
to do is take that value engine that you validated, you've tested in a small way,
The
and
MVP of it.
it's exactly and multiply
Yeah.
it. So it could be you just need to find that within your product or your business, right? And then you are able to scale it, just multiply it. That's
No. No.
what scale is all about when it comes to products and even business.
Hmm. Yeah. So, thank you for that. The other question that I have, normally cause fights between product manager, developers, QA. Your own experience, how do you think that particular area can actually you can um you can only minimize, you can't eradicate it, because I know whenever so let's take this example. I'm working on a particular feature, but along the line our product manager just come that, okay, this needs to be groomed again, do a lot of things, and I was like, "Ah, why, but you've groomed this thing before you move it to do, why coming again?" So there are instances, right, that developers, product manager, and QA, we have like issues. How, from your own experience, with that belief that you will have faced before, how do you think that can actually be minimized?
Mm, yeah. Thanks for that question, Babatunde. And this is something that we experience because as a product manager, you interface with, different parties, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that has helped me a lot is to be clear on the problem, what
Mm.
you are solving for. Now, once you as a product manager is clear on that problem, right, on the why, what you do is to align everyone within the team, around that same problem. So you're letting them know that this is the justification for what we are building, right? This is why we are building it. And you realize that once you've been able to clearly explain why, and everyone is, aligned on it, you realize that collaboration is easier, alignment is easier. So, in a situation where a product manager has to regroom a ticket, right?
Tickets, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually because the product manager hasn't done their work or insufficient work, right? Clearly, justifying the feature in the first place, because it takes a lot of time. I don't want to say it takes a lot of time because time is relative, but when we product managers are coming up with or conceptualizing on a product, right, you have to give it sufficient time because you don't want to rush that process. You don't want to rush the process, because if you rush the process, you have cases of rework, that's the developers having
Yeah.
to rework, which directly impacts the go-to-market timeline. So you
Online, yes.
need to ensure that when you're conceptualizing a product, you give it the time is required to come up with something that is concrete, right? Now, this is not to say that changes aren't allowed within the development life cycle. Of course, changes are allowed, but these changes shouldn't be one that, would impact the essence of the product itself, right? So for
Okay.
instance now, say for we need to build a fintech application, right, to maybe save funds, right? The essence of the application, the essence of the product we are building is to be able to save funds.
Fund, yes.
It's not going to be wise if during the development cycle, right, I now come and say, oh no, we are no longer using this product to save funds, we want to use it only for transfers. you know it's already like, didn't you do your homework? Why do you have the team working on this with, why do you already have the team working on, building a product just for saving funds? It doesn't tell well on the product manager. So before you transition to execution, right, as a product manager, you have to ensure that the justification for the product you're building is solid. You need to have verified it, you need to have validated it, you need to have interviewed users, your potential users, right, to ensure that this there is a case, there is something, a problem the product is going to solve. Do you understand? So I believe that
Yeah.
if this is something that we incorporate more, right, in our processes, a lot of, the rework that we experience during development cycle would be reduced.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because I've experienced this couple of times that I have to reduce some tickets, and it would be like, why?
Yeah,
Because your own time, the timeline for the project to be live, all those things will definitely be affected based on
definitely.
that. Even if it is a small change like color, there is going to be a time that will also be affected in that particular sense, which is
Yeah.
actually something that I believe
So
is
another thing I'd like to add is that product managers should try as much as possible to avoid getting in the web of perfectionism, right?
mm,
So because sometimes, it's just I'm just referencing the example you gave. Even if it is the color of the button, it is still a change,
yeah,
right? So sometimes
yes, yeah,
it is best to, as much as possible, right, just get the product out there, get a viable product out there, something that solves the, user's problem, right? You don't really need to bother about aesthetics in the first version. I'm not saying it is not important. It is important, right? Having a green button is okay, but you need to, as much as possible, you need to try as much as possible to avoid getting into that web of, this product must be perfect before I ship.
yeah. Before we push
Mistakes
it,
are allowed. You learn as you go along. But get the product out there as fast as you can, so that you know, start getting real users' feedback on your product, and you're able to iterate quickly. So I think I would just say avoid getting into the web of perfectionism, right?
yeah. So far, oh, so I want to go back to that button. So if it is blue, if it is green, so far you're able to click and you're able to save, like you mentioned, then I think the user will be good with that. Then you can come back and now
Yeah, you can
perfect
come back
every
to.
other thing that you want to
But I
perfect.
don't see a reason. Okay, yeah, I don't see a reason why a button. It depends on, what you're building, right? If
Yeah,
it is
true.
blue, it has to align with the theme of, the interface. Do you
Yeah, the
understand?
brand as well.
So exactly, the brand. So I believe that whoever is working on anything right now is, you have also need to adopt psychology. So we have color psychology, we have human psychology, right? There are a lot of factors that needs to be adopted when, if you're building, a product in this time.
Product. Yeah,
And that's
that's
where
true.
psychology also comes to play. I'm also big on product psychology, because you're building for humans, and for you to build for, the next person, you need to understand how they think, how, they relate to things. So there's a whole lot, right, that has to do with product management that we don't really talk about. But yeah.
I think is it product management is actually a wide thing to talk
Yeah.
about, which I believe we will still have more conversation around it on this particular TechnaijaFM, FM, which I believe what you just mentioned now, product
Yeah.
psychology, is another thing that we can actually talk about along the line. But just to keep this very short because I know you're a busy person. Um, the other thing that you also mentioned that you're building uh, is something regarding, or that you're using is something regarding AI. How do you see the AI changing the future of product management in Nigeria and globally?
Yeah, so I regard AI as a helpmate, right?
Okay.
Not something that would do the job for you, because we are all, I mean, we're still unique in our ways, right? So AI
Definitely.
sort of shrinks the cost of experimentation, right? In When you talk about product management, if you're starting a new you're building a new product, before you will have to have gone 360. You do the UI, then you get to a developer to build it. You would have been burning, or it will cost you a lot,
Yes.
back then. But with the emergence of AI, it has made it a lot more manageable. You have lovable.ai, and you have even the products I'm currently working on Prodly, to help shrink the cost of experimentation. So you're able to validate, you're able to ideate, you're able to test, and you're able to ship faster, right? Using or leveraging AI without huge costs and risks. So I think that's how AI has shaped product management space so far.
Oh, oh, wow. Yeah, I've used the lovable.ai for a quick MVP. Just uh, give the AI the information, the features that you want to see, uh, then within few minutes, it's going to generate uh, a landing page or something for you. Then you can actually deploy it, and you can even map it to your GitHub for you to edit the code later and like, which is actually a good one for
Yeah,
quick MVP. I think is actually a good one.
yeah, the
But
concept.
I
Mhm.
continue.
I said the concept of vibe coding. So now a lot of product managers are being forced to learn code one way or the other to stay relevant in these times. But yeah, continue.
Mm, that's true. That's true. Even like I mentioned, I have someone that moved from product to
Mm-hmm.
software just to have a view about, okay, you see this developer telling him, right, that don't you know how long it's going to take me to convert this UX design to HTML to CSS and the likes. And it was like, I think I also need to understand this software that you guys are even talking about. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's actually a good one. It's actually a
Mm-hmm.
good one. Um, so I think I have some comment here. Think I have some comment. Uh, okay, just a comment. Okay. Not really a question, right? So the other thing that I basically want to to tell the audience is how to balance innovation, right? Because you have different innovations. How do you think you've done it in the past, right? How do you balance innovation with users' needs and the goal of the business? Because what I've seen in the couple of years is that business goals, uh, business goal, the innovation, then the way the product manager is going to flesh things out, right? So how do you think you've done it in the past? How do you balance innovation with the user needs and business goals?
Yeah, so my principle for that is simple, and that is innovation, right, must be realistic. So, what I mean by
Mm.
that statement is whatsoever you are coming up with, right, it must reduce friction for the users and move a business metric. So, you realize that when we are conceptualizing a product, right, we define the flows, right?
Yes.
We define the flows, and whatever flow you're defining, it has to be one that solves the user's pain points, right?
Yes.
That's one. Two, we also define our success metrics. So defining the success metrics early on would help you guide how you define your product. So, for example, right, when I define products, when I was working on Vendy's super application, that's the restaurant management software for food businesses, right? Part of what we're trying to do was to um increase the operational efficiency for businesses. So it's meant combining, integrating different fragmented aspect of the restaurant business, right, into one solution. So what I did, I interviewed several restaurant managers, inventory managers, and kitchen staff just to get a sense of what that pain point was like for them, right? And it informed the flow of the software. Not just that, one of the business metric is, you know, how the download rates. So the download rates is speaking to, the adoption rates, and that's the point of
Okay.
sale system, right? So it informed how we architected that onboarding system. We wanted it to be very easy. So what we
Yeah.
did was instead of them just coming on, entering all their information and their business information, we decided to use a code logic. So
Okay.
you enter your email address and on the back office, you create an account. As soon as you create an account, we generate a code that you can
Okay.
apply to the point of sale system. So once you download the point of sale application, you enter that code on the tablet because we're using a tablet, right? So once you enter the
Okay.
code on the tablet, the system would automatically link your POS to your back office. That's the back
Wow.
office software. So you can
Application.
see now, like that is innovative. What it did was to two things. It solves the users' pain points because now they are able to get their business live on our platform ASAP, like as quickly as possible in less than five minutes, right? You're able to do all of that, and you have an active point of sale system in your restaurant, right? It also moved a business metric because it increased the adoption rate. So these are the things that when it comes to conceptualizing a product, whatsoever solution that you come up with has to reduce friction for the user and has to move a business metric.
Forward. Yeah. Yeah. I believe that also because you can't just build for building sake. If user doesn't adopt it, then you're just wasting your time. But if you've done like uh, MVP, you will have gathered some experience about the pain point of the user. You will have know what to do based on the feedback and what you should remove, add, and the likes, which is actually a good one. Um, so to wrap this particular session, I don't know, but I do ask all my guests that should in case we have people that want to go into products, what are the advice that you can actually give to those kind of people?
Hmm. So yeah, we have a lot of people who are looking to transition into product management or even become product managers, which is great. We need more product managers because we are the frontiers of digital technology, right?
Yes.
So, but
Yes.
the advice I want to leave with the audience and as many listening to this podcast is I would say, in as much as you desire to become a product manager, I would say don't chase the job title. Instead, chase responsibility, right?
Mm.
Own the outcome, right? Own the outcome is very important because I've experienced like I've had a lot many experiences like working with different product managers. The difference between a an excellent product manager and a let me just use the word just the product manager is the level of ownership. So own outcomes very important even in small context, right? Also ship something. You might not have the opportunity granted to you on a easily, but I want you to learn to build in public if you have to. Like engage with people, build something, just get your hands busy because you can only learn when you practice. So I would say,
Yes.
yeah, it's great to have the whole theoretical work and I mean theoretical idea of product management. You join webinars, you're even listening to me, today. But I would say take it a step further,
Yes.
practice, get into it, right? You have people within your network that you can reach out to. Oh, I just want to work on a fintech application, or I want to build something. Just come up with something and just build it because you would only learn, right, when you practice it, right? So
Yes.
that's very, very important. I also say that product leadership is earned by solving real problems, right? Not by getting certified. So, as much as possible, try to, get involved with solving real problems. And, I've had is one of my someone in my network, for many years, I think about 2, 3 years, they come tell me that this product management, I want to learn it though. I want to become a product manager. I have the certificate from Product Dive. We just keep mentioning all this certification and all of this stuff.
This one.
You can only become a product manager if you've experienced it. So practice is key. Yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned something which I've seen recently in a couple of job title, job roles, and the likes. Uh, I believe there is difference between product managers and product owners because you talked about product ownership now. So, can you just, in a simple way, right, so that I personally can understand, audience can also understand, right, what is different between product manager and product owners?
Yeah. So I would say the difference between a product manager and a product owner, right, is that for the product manager, they interface with the business, right? They interface with the business
Okay.
and the product owner. So this is what I
Okay.
mean. So for a product manager, they are the ones defining the product strategy. They're
Yes.
ensuring
Okay.
that whatsoever is being developed, right, or whatsoever is, the what that is being built, right,
Okay.
directly impacts or incorporates the business goals and the user's needs. Now, for the
Okay.
product owner is they usually interface with the development team, which we know as the Scrum team, and the product manager. So the product owner in this case is ensuring that whatsoever has been defined or has been handed over by the product manager, that's the what in this case, right? The
Okay.
development team is building it. Do you understand? So they are overseeing
Okay.
that development cycle to ensure that
That's
whatever the development team is building is in line with the product strategy that the product manager has worked with the business and the users to develop. Do you understand?
now I understand. Now I get you perfectly.
So ownership is
Uh,
for both parties.
for
Ownership
parties.
for both parties. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, lastly, you also mentioned about when you have someone to hold your hands, right? It's quite easy for you to quickly move forward. Are you open to mentorship?
Oh, of course.
Because I know I will have some people that want to go into products. That's why I'm asking that particular question.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm open to mentorship. As a matter of fact, we have I have a community that I'm currently overseeing, right?
Wow.
It's
Good.
the Broadly community. So we So yeah, we encourage people who are building, product managers, solo creators, founders, right, to join our community because we share a lot of tips. We also do advisory and also mentorship. Even their jobs and their jobs that you can also um, you know apply to within the community or as a community member. So there's a
Wow.
lot going on within the community. I just want to encourage, anyone who is interested to join.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Thank you
You
so
can also
much.
follow me on LinkedIn, I'm happy to contribute as much as
Yeah.
I
So before we round up on this episode, uh, so it's possible that some people might just be joining us. I want you to uh, maybe say your name again so that people can look for your profile, follow you on LinkedIn, basically get one or two things from or learn one or two things from uh, your experience and the likes. So I think you can do that.
All right. So just for those joining us, my name is Bukunmi Falonshuo. SO, that's without a H. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and we can engage from there.
Thank you so much. If there is a last advice that you want to give, I don't know, we can do that now to the audience before we call it a wrap.
So I would
If
just
there,
say, oh, I think I already said, I've given the
yeah,
advice earlier.
okay, okay,
It's
that's fine. That's fine.
don't
That's
chase
fine.
the job
Uh,
title, you know, take responsibility. So I think, and
yeah,
also work on, improving your ownership skills. So,
okay. Thank you so much.
yeah,
To
so
all our audience on all the social medias, thank you so much for today's episode. I believe you will have picked one or two things from this particular exciting episode. Uh, and like I do say, keep innovating, keep pushing, don't stop learning because you need to keep learning for you to grow. I believe we're going to see each other at the top. Thank you so much for joining today's episode on TechnaijaFM. I remain your host, Babatunde Esanju. Thank you so much and bye for now.